which is legendary underground status under the stage name X-Rated.
Anerae Brown is on parole, living in Oakland after serving 26 years for his part in a gangland murder. More than 2 decades ago, our own Juliet Goodrich covered his trial.
But today, as Night Beat's Joe Vasquez reports, he is out and he's making music again, trying to prove that he's a changed man.
Anerae Brown is free, and he's letting the world know it. It is quite a story. 26 years ago, Brown was the rapper X-Rated. In March of 1992, he and some fellow gang members broke into a home intent on killing 2 of their rivals. When a shadow emerged in the hallway, Anerae and 2 other young men opened fire. It turns out it wasn't the rival gang members, but their mother. 42-year-old Patricia Harris lay dead with a gunshot wound to her heart. Brown says he didn't kill her, but the murder weapon matched the ballistics of the gun pictured on his album cover. Prosecutors also played the jury the graphic lyrics of an X-Rated song.
I'm killing moms, daddy, and nephews. I'm killing sons, daughters, and sparing you.
In 1996, Anerae Brown was found guilty of murder and sentenced to 31 years in prison.
No one conspired to kill Mrs. Harris, but we conspired to harm those dudes. I was looking for them to do them harm. I meant them harm, and that's the truth. And that is something I have shame for.
While behind bars, X-Rated still managed to produce 12 albums, usually through a payphone. He served a total of 26 years and was recently paroled to a halfway house in Oakland.
It feels like love. I'm walking around, I can feel the breeze on my face, I can hear the birds.
Anerae Brown says prison changed him.
I'm on a new journey to be a responsible adult male who makes music and enjoys life, who doesn't want to harm anybody.
31 to life in prison, this is how I sing it you.
He's recording again and mentoring younger musicians.
It's like history in the making. Like today is a historic day in hip hop. Is to see him recording in a real studio, not over the phone. It's absolutely amazing.
Murder, murder. They told me kill, kill. Live by the soul, die by the soul, kill, Bill. Woo!
He hopes one day to compensate the Harris family, even though he knows money can't bring her back.
Hello, it's Anerae. I'm doing fine. How are you?
His new album, just released, is called The Execution of X-Rated. A freed, convicted murderer, Anerae Brown is killing off his old persona as he begins a new life on the outside. On the Night Beat, I'm Joe Vasquez.
Wow, what a story.
What a turnaround.
What a journey.
United Nations. Hug life, I'm home.
As you got closer to coming home, man, and you really saw light at the end of the tunnel, I mean, fuck, man, 26 years is a lot of time, man. I mean, I did 8 years, 8 months, and a decade altogether between juvenile hall, YA, and the feds, but to do that much time straight, man, you know, how did it feel as you got closer to getting out, man, and what was your game plan once you felt like, now I'm actually gonna be free again?
Man, first of all, I was experiencing the modulation. I call it modulating my emotions. I had to make sure I wasn't feeling something that wasn't based in reality. So the fear of, man, I'm gonna get it right up and they're gonna put my life sentence back on me. I'm walking around conscious. I got walked past the officer I know don't like me because I exist, not because of nothing else. It's who is this motherfucker think he is with a rap career and owning a home and a pretty woman coming to see him? Who the fuck you think he is? I gotta walk past him thinking this motherfucker could say I did anything and I'm gonna have a life sentence. And knowing that certain people think they could say something now because you're vulnerable, and so you gotta deal with that particular attempt. Somebody think that now's the time. You ever wanted to test
Plus you got dudes like who are jealous. He getting out, he got the rap career, his girl coming. Fuck him, fuck X. You gotta watch them, so you're looking at that dude. Like, you know, what is he up to? What is his whole intention?
At all times. And it was like, it's gonna be somebody close. And so I was always conscious of that. And so, but what I ended up seeing was the elders were so proud of me. And the elders got a lot of power in prison. You know, you hit 60, 65, 55, you already know what they say go. They might not be able to physically impose that, but they can mentally and spiritually dictate the way the water gonna move, because if they decide you don't belong there no more, it's all bad. OG that's just playing chess all day, eating chips and talking crazy with the rest of them might be responsible for half the deaths that occurred over the course of 2 years. And it all happened right there at that chessboard. And maybe the moves on the chessboard was the message. C1 to B4, that was the end of you.
He's done.
Done. And so they were the ones who was like, you know what? Like, hey man, have a seat. What's up, OG? I honored them. And they would say, man, we love what you doing, man. You gonna do great. And you gonna make it home. You going home. And they wouldn't say it like, it wasn't like they were telling me that as if to say, there is no potential where you're not gonna make it home. But they would say it was, you going home. Like it was a guarantee. As in, hey bro, you could forget about that.
Don't worry about the other shit. You good.
They was letting that be known. Hey man, you could forget about that right there. Do you want a problem of that magnitude? What's happening? The officer that wrote up the whole pod over the towel in the window, if people start packing their property, like we about to, I was like, listen to me, bro. You can't, I'm not gonna benefit from you. They gonna give me a conspiracy if you go knock that officer out, bro, because he wrote me up. We can't win that way. If you want me to go home and you upset I'm not going home, that's not gonna get me home. That's gonna make it longer. It's a better way to do that. I had to literally do that. People packed their shit because they were so upset and was on their way to smash an officer, a sergeant, for writing up the whole cell. Why he do that? He knew he was gonna hit you if he shot a scatter gun in there. He knew he was gonna get you. He knew it. They were furious, and so I had to deal with that. So I spent the last 5, from May to September, navigating that particular energy. And people who didn't want me home, to people who was like unequivocally, oh, he going, and watching them deal with that, and having to do my normal day. Wake up in the morning, I done put a podcast studio there. I got to deal with all the politics, and they come sit down. Big Ron from neighborhood 60s, legendary and respected. The big homeboy from Harlem 30s, who I'm talking about. He made the Love and Sea, and what's your big homie name? Big Frosty, MC Frosty. We call him Frosty, so I'm like Frosty and Frosty. They got him listed as MC Frosty in Rolling Stone as having influenced NWA. So Frosty from Harlem 30s is coming every day to make sure I'm okay. And he one of he's an elder, but got hands, feet, knees, and elbows from hell, and everybody knew it. Nobody wanted that kind of conflict. So these people, and then Abdullah from Cedar Block, Pyro, like they coming to make sure I'm all right. Elders from neighborhood 40s in San Diego, coming to make sure I'm all right. Sitting down, spend half an hour with me, just talking to me, because that was worth 2 weeks apiece that he did that. Like, ooh, who down there with him? Ooh. 2 weeks. Hey, how you doing, X? All right now. Just because of that. Daniel Hopper, straight Mexican mafia, the son of legendary figures consistently. Always gotta having arguments and fights with the administration over who his bloodline is, because he really changed his life. Come sit down with me for an hour to talk about psychology and the definition of remorse and how to prepare a parole pack and walk out, and that's worth like 2 or 3 months of peace. All right, X. All right now. And that's how they made sure I got home, and they did that on purpose. And that's why I can't forget about them brothers. But that was difficult. That was a lot. Just to be, I got to deal with this counselor. This is where I'm paroling to. Oh, we ain't feeling it. It's too late for that. What you mean it's too late? You've been telling me for 2 months you'll holler at me. Now it's time for me to go home, and you talking about.
I'm putting a little twist and see, let me, if I can stir it up the pot a little bit at the last minute. And it's game, like, man, I told him, and they trying it though to see what they can do.
They did that, and then would tell me, deal with that with your PO. Ain't you happy to go home? You want to argue about this or you want to go home? I'm like, oh, victimization.
Exactly.
I say, hey, man, I'm good. I'll deal with it. Because that's a cold threat. argue about this and stay here because this ain't gonna get done.
Yeah.
Or let me do it the way I want to do it and go home and deal with.
And you know what
PO.
they came from a lot of times? Because they in the back of their mind, they maxed out. That's it.
Yeah.
That's where they at right now, is where they at right to this day, where they were then. And you now, and where you're going, they know that it's above and beyond, man. So a lot of times they was in their feelings.
Yeah.
They look at this brother like, man.
They knew it.
Yeah.
They was like, he going home, it's gonna go down. This dude gets out, it's going down.
It's going down.
That was buzzing. The whole facility was talking about that. This dude go home, it's going down. Because I was still doing shows in there. They knew what I was capable of. And I would get that all the time, man, you about to blow up. You gonna change some lives, you gonna help people.
That's right.
And I was like, damn, thank you. I started wondering what is my real responsibility. But yeah, that was what it was, knowing I gotta go, I'm trying to get to my home. They gonna send me somewhere where, you know, what's my support network?
So describe the day you got called to what they call an R&D, and you got your clothes and you walking out of there, man. What's that feeling, man? I know when I seen R&D, man, I was like, that second gate, and they buzz you do that second gate, and you go and you're like, God damn, man, I'm done with this shit. I'm walking up out of here, man. It's like you try to hurry and get through there quick. What was the feeling, man?
I had Michael Swain from he used to be he's a podcaster, so he got a company called Small Beans. I had his team waiting for me to walk out so we could film the whole thing. I got like a $600 a night room at the Grand Hotel Del Mar waiting for me. My wife is out there with the sundress on. They waiting for me. They wake me up at 2 in the morning and tell me, you got to get your shit. You going to receive and release. I'm like, all right. People like, man, that's strange, but the Menendez brothers warned me, you a public interest case, bro. It's going to be weird when they let you go.
Oh,
they going to
so
do you like they did
OJ.
OJ. They said it's going to be in the middle of the night when they
Yeah.
grab you, sure enough. So I end up in the tank. They get me there. They give me my clothes. I dress out. Okay, I'm going to dress out. And then they come try to put some chains on me. I'm like, whoa. Like, I'm going home, man. You know, what's that about? They say you high security transport because you're a public interest case, high notoriety classification. You're a high security transport, and they listed me as transient. Transient? Like, you real, I own property, man. What you talking about, transient? They said the county of your commitment offense is where you're supposed to parole. But because I'm a public interest case, high notoriety, I can't go back to Sacramento. I'm not allowed, law enforcement and the justice system itself won't allow me to go back to Sacramento. So they said we got to pick the next available, viable county. Chain me up. I say, man, you got to let me call my family out here. Modulation. Be easy, Anerae. Take it easy. Don't trip, because I got to control my voice. No,
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it like up in you, like,
yeah.
they try me again. This is another, you know, what's up? Yeah,
and I'm a fighter. I'm on some, we can just get down and this could go bad and you could put me back in my cell because I have an illness and I don't give a fuck. There's that problem of, there's a piece of my brain that thinks it's perfectly logical not to give a fuck. And I have to dispute that with these new coping skills that I have. So in this moment where that, you think I give a fuck about this bitch ass shit? When that pop up, I gotta say,
yeah,
you give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
You gonna give a fuck.
Got,
right now
yeah.
or a year from now, you gonna give a fuck at some point. So let's just do it right now. So I had to tell myself, modulate. Is it all right if I call my family, man? That's what I'm asking for. Just that calm. They was like, yeah, man, you know what? That's reasonable to call my wife. They not, this is what's going on. Gotta try to keep her from crying. It's okay, don't trip. This all. She jumped on the plane, boom. They put me in the van with waist chains and manacles on my release date.
But you're a free man.
On my release date. Put me in a van in a cage this big. This big. Had me sit with my knees on the metal.
Oh, yeah. That's
great. The cage is a cage.
I know that.
There's a door right here. Metal, chicken wire like. And it's just in the window. And I'm like this. And give me a bag lunch. I got carrots, pack of peanut butter on the day I got parole. And I was like, oh, I'm looking out the window, they driving, it's this dark. Eventually the sun start coming up, modulate. You free, bro. It's all right. And this is a reminder. This is God's plan. Trust the universe. It's worked so far. This is gonna be okay. I gotta do that to myself. Don't trip. There ain't nothing you could say gonna make this better. There ain't nothing to do that's gonna make this better. And take the ride, have faith. Joseph in Egypt. Remember Joseph in Egypt. I had to do that. And so there came a point where I started seeing the trees. I was like, man, you free, bro. But I'm chained up. And that's a cold juxtaposition. And it's been a reminder for me, you free, but you chained up. And I still can feel that shit right now. I can feel that cage on my knees.
Yeah, because your knees is bent up like this.
Right now.
You can't even move, and you're like...
I can feel it right now. And so when I got off the van, my wife in the parking lot, when we pass her by, they opened the door, she damn near tried to crawl in. I had to tell her, man, they got guns, man. If she was black, they'd have shot her. Like only a white person would have been able to get away with that. Yeah. Ran up on the van. Is my husband in here? They was like, ma'am, yes, he's in here. I'm like, man, you trying to get killed out here. They didn't care at all. So my PO came out and saw me, and he you know, older black dude named Brandon, and he saw me and he said, man, take those chains off of him, man. Take that off of him. He was upset. Take that off. Oh, okay. Yes, sir. He said, I signed the paperwork for you to be, I was supposed to leave. He released me to my wife. So I was supposed to walk out the prison, go to my family, go to my room, and drive to Oakland myself, or fly to Oakland and report the scene. That was what he wanted, and that was what he signed. And somebody else who had the ability to throw a wrench in my game at the facility.
Let's see what they could just, the one last move.
Chained me up, threw me in the van, and sent me to Oakland on a transport just because they could. Just one last fuck you real quick. And my lawyer told me that. That's all that was. That was the last one they had.
That's all they had left.
That was all they had left. And so I'm straight. I hug my wife. I go in there. I sit down in the parole office. I don't got nobody out here. It's just me. And I say, all right, I'm going to do it. It's going to be fine. Tell him, hey, man, I own my home. I don't have no support system here. I don't know the logic of thinking that somebody could be successful. If I wasn't me, I would have failed. This was not designed for me to succeed, bro. If I was not me, I was going to fail. If I didn't have my resources and my support system, I was going to be back in prison in like 3 weeks. Maximum, I'd have lasted 3 or 4 weeks. I'd have been gone. I walk in, so I do all of my paperwork, everything I'm supposed to do. They tell me you could go, you know, get something to eat and then report. I'm like, all right. I go fill out the paperwork. They tell me you know, go do your weekend pass, because I ran into this OG black lady, it's the FAB aunt of all things. And she just was like, baby, you need to go live your life and we'll see you Monday. You need to be back here Sunday. I say, yes, ma'am, I go do me. Her name is Linda, and she got a huge heart. You know what I mean? It's good people. And so she ain't do nothing wrong. This is allowable. You know what I mean? For the record, Miss Linda didn't do nothing wrong. She let me do my thing, so I spent that first weekend out and about. Didn't have to go to no transitional house. And so I report back, and the night I walk in there for the first time, I'm like 3 feet away from a dude crushing up a lawn. He say, man, you want to hit that? I say, I'm good, bro. But I ain't got nothing to do with no telling, so you enjoy yourself, bro. That ain't my business, just for the record. And I let him on, hey, bro, what y'all do ain't my business. Just because I can't do it don't mean that y'all can't do it. Do you. And I put mine, I'm like, if I ain't had a discipline, I'm high now, I'm drunk, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, and how long can I sustain that? I'm like, I'm gone. Just that fast I would have been gone. So that Monday I had to go to work, man. Hey man, I own my company. Can I get office hours? Got my location. Y'all gotta find me somewhere I can work out of. And we got this place, man, out of pure necessity. And the universe smiled on me, man. Joseph in the land of Egypt. The universe decided I needed to come home at another level and elevated me immediately, and I got to work. And that's how I hit working on California Dreamin and all of that. And next thing you know, it's on to the music.
On to the music, man.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.